My beloved child, I hear the cry that you try to hide from everyone else. I hear the whisper in your heart that says, I can't wait anymore. You have been strong for so long. You have smiled when you felt like breaking. You have said, I trust you, even when doubt pressed hard against your chest. And now you are tired. Not weak, not faithless, just tired. The waiting has stretched longer than you expected, and you are afraid that if nothing changes soon, something inside you might. You look at the calendar. You look at your age. You look at the doors that have not opened. You look at the prayers that still seem to hang in the air. And a question rises in you like a storm. What if I miss this? What if my chance passes me by? What if I waited for nothing? My child, that fear feels real to you, but it does not come from me. I know the urgency you feel. I know the pressure in your thoughts when you wake up in the morning. I know how you measure time against your dreams. You feel as though life is moving forward for everyone else while you stand still. You fear being left behind. You fear that your moment has already knocked and left because you did not open the door fast enough. But listen to me now. Lean in closely. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not too late. I am not scrambling to fix your life at the last minute. I am not surprised by the delays. I am not worried about your timeline. I see the full picture when you only see a small piece. When you say, I can't wait anymore, what you are really saying is I don't understand what you are doing. And that is okay. I am not offended by your honesty. I would rather you bring me your raw frustration than hide it behind polite prayers. I am your father. You can speak freely to me. There is something sacred happening in this very tension you feel. The place where you think you are about to break is often the place where I am about to move. The moment when you think you cannot hold on any longer is often the edge of transformation. But the enemy whispers, give up now. It's too late. I whisper, hold on, my child. It is closer than you think. You believe the story is ending because you cannot see the next page. Yet I am the author. I never lose track of the plot. I never forget a promise I have spoken over you. The clock you stare at does not control me. The doors you see do not limit me. What I have prepared for you cannot be stolen by time. So breathe, my beloved. Do not let fear rush you out of my hands. You have not missed your moment. You are standing at the threshold of something greater than you realize. And this waiting, painful as it feels, is not empty. It is full of my purpose, even now. My beloved child, I see your restless nights. When the world grows quiet and the lights are turned off, your thoughts grow louder. You lie there staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, imagining outcomes, asking questions you are too afraid to speak during the day. Your body is tired, but your mind refuses to rest. You shift from one side to the other, hoping sleep will come and rescue you from your own thinking. Yet even in that silence, I am there beside you. You wonder why I seem so quiet in those hours. You whisper, why haven't you answered me yet? Why does it feel like you are distant? But my child, silence is not distance. Stillness is not absence. When a mother sits beside her sleeping child, she does not always speak. Her presence is enough. In the same way, I sit beside you in the dark. I watch over you. I guard your heart when it feels fragile. You feel the weight of unanswered prayers pressing on your chest. You remember the day you first asked me for that breakthrough. You remember how hopeful you were. You thought it would happen quickly. You thought the door would swing open within weeks, maybe months. But time passed. Then more time passed. And now you are counting not days but years. Each passing season feels like proof that perhaps I said no. But I have not said no. You measure my faithfulness by visible change. I measure it by my unchanging love. My faithfulness is not proven by speed, but by certainty. What I promise, I complete. What I begin, I finish. Even when you can't see movement, there is movement. Even when you cannot hear my voice clearly, I am speaking in ways you will only understand later. Let me tell you a story, my child. There was once a farmer who planted seeds deep in the ground. After covering them with soil, he stood in the field and waited. Days passed. Nothing appeared. Weeks passed. The land looked empty, almost lifeless. His neighbors laughed quietly, saying, "Perhaps he planted nothing at all." But beneath the surface, something was happening. Roots were forming. Strength was developing in secret. The seed was not dead. It was becoming. If the farmer had dug into the soil every night to check for progress, he would have damaged the very thing he hoped to see grow. So he chose trust. He chose patience. He watered the ground even when he saw no green shoots. And in time, the field that looked barren burst into life. You, my beloved, are in that hidden stage. You look at the surface of your life and see little change. You fear that nothing is happening. But beneath what you can see, I am establishing roots in you. I am strengthening your character. I am preparing circumstances. I am aligning details that you cannot yet understand. Those sleepless nights are not wasted. In those quiet hours, I am shaping your dependence on me. When you finally whisper, "I cannot carry this alone," that is not defeat. That is surrender into my arms. And surrender is where true peace begins. You are not forgotten in the dark. I count every tear that slips onto your pillow. I hear the sighs you do not even realize you are releasing. I know the ache of waiting when it feels like everyone else is moving forward while you remain still. But stillness with me is not stagnation. It is preparation. Tonight, when the thoughts begin to race again, I want you to imagine placing them into my hands one by one. The fear of missing out, the anxiety about time, the frustration of delay. Give them to me. You do not have to solve your future at midnight. You do not have to force clarity before dawn. Let me be God while you rest. I am closer than your next breath. When you turn to your side and close your eyes, I am there. When tears blur your vision, I am there. When questions rise like waves, I am there. And even when sleep finally overtakes you, my watch over you never ends. Rest, my child. The night does not mean I am absent. It only means that I am working in ways too gentle for daylight to reveal just yet. My beloved child, I know the pain of delayed promises. I know how it feels when a dream once burned brightly in your heart, and now it flickers like a small flame fighting against the wind. There was a time when you spoke about your future with excitement. Your eyes would light up when you imagined what could be. You believed with such confidence that what I placed inside you would unfold quickly and beautifully. But now, after so much waiting, you find yourself speaking about it more quietly, almost cautiously, as if you are afraid to hope too much. Delay is a way of testing your heart. It whispers cruel lies. It tells you that maybe you misunderstood me. Maybe you imagined the promise. Maybe you were foolish to believe so deeply. And when you look around and see others stepping into their blessings, getting their breakthroughs, celebrating their victories, it stings. You smile for them, but inside you ask, when will it be my turn? Comparison becomes a silent thief. You begin to measure your journey against someone else's timeline. You scroll, you watch, You observe how quickly doors seem to open for others, and the enemy uses that to plant doubt in you. He whispers, if it hasn't happened yet, it probably won't. But my child, what I write for one life is not what I write for another. I am not mass-producing destinies. I am crafting them individually, with care. Delay does not mean denial. Hear me clearly. Delay does not mean denial. When a sculptor works on a masterpiece, he does not rush. Each strike of the chisel is intentional. Some parts require more time, more detail, more refinement. If the stone could speak, it might cry out, why does this take so long? Why so much pressure? But the sculptor sees the final form long before the stone does. In the same way, I see the fullness of what I am shaping in your life. The promise I gave you was not a mistake. I do not plant dreams in your heart just to watch them wither. If I allowed you to see it, if I stirred that longing inside you, it is because it is connected to your purpose. But promises often grow in stages. First comes the vision. Then comes the preparation. Only after that comes the fulfillment. You are in the preparation, and preparation can feel invisible. Sometimes you ask me, why show me the promise at all if I have to wait so long for it? My beloved, the promise is a compass. It keeps you moving. It gives you direction when the path feels uncertain. Without it, you might settle for less. Without it, you might stop stretching, stop believing, stop growing. There was a man who planted an orchard, knowing he would not taste the fruit immediately. Year after year, he watered the young trees. They looked thin and fragile at first. Storms bent them. Winters stripped them bare. Anyone passing by might have thought the effort was pointless. But beneath the surface, the roots were deepening. And when the season finally shifted, those trees produced fruit in abundance, more than if they had rushed the process. You, my child, are like that orchard. I am deepening your roots so that when the promise blooms, it will not collapse under its own weight. Quick blessings without strong foundations often crumble. But what I build in you will endure. Do not interpret my patience as neglect. Do not interpret my silence as abandonment. I am faithful to every word I have spoken over you. Even now, pieces are moving into place. Conversations you do not hear, protections you do not see, alignments you cannot yet imagine. They are unfolding. Your promise has not expired. It is not sitting forgotten on a shelf in heaven. It is alive. It is guarded. It is being prepared with precision. Trust me in this space between prophecy and fulfillment. Trust me when nothing seems to shift. Trust me when doubt tries to drown out hope. I am not late, and neither are you. What I have declared over your life will come to pass in its appointed time. And when it does, you will see that the delay was not cruelty. It was care. My beloved child, there are moments when waiting does not just feel long. It feels personal. You begin to wonder if the delay is a punishment. You search your memory for mistakes. You replay old failures. You ask yourself quietly, did I do something to deserve this? Is this happening because I disappointed God? And that question sits heavy on your heart. Let me speak gently, but clearly to you now. I am not punishing you with silence. I am not withholding blessings to teach you a harsh lesson. I am not keeping good things from you to watch you struggle. That is not my heart toward you. When a child is learning to walk, the father does not push him down every time he stumbles. He reaches out. He steadies him. He smiles even at the smallest progress. In the same way, I see your effort. I see your desire to do what is right. I see your repentance when you fall short. I am not standing over you with a list of failures, deciding how long you must wait before I show you kindness. Waiting is not punishment. It is preparation wrapped in patience. There is a difference between discipline and abandonment. Discipline is guided by love and purpose. Abandonment is driven by indifference. I am never indifferent toward you. Every moment of your life matters to me. Every detail is known. If I allow a delay, it is not because I am angry. It is because I see something you do not yet see. Think of a master builder constructing a house. Before the walls are raised, before the roof is placed, the foundation must be laid deep and strong. The digging is not glamorous. It is messy. It takes time. To an outsider, it might look like destruction instead of progress. But without that deep work beneath the surface, the house would not stand when storms come. You are in a season where I am strengthening your foundation. If I gave you everything you asked for at the first moment you desired it, the weight of it might crush you. Not because you are weak, but because growth takes time. Capacity must expand before responsibility increases. Character must deepen before influence widens. Sometimes you mistake my protection for rejection. There are doors you begged me to open that I quietly kept closed. You thought I ignored your prayer, but I was guarding you from what would have drained you, distracted you, or wounded you more deeply. You saw opportunity. I saw consequences. You saw timing. I saw the full timeline. My beloved, I do not operate from anger toward you. My heart is steady. My love is constant. When you stumble, I do not cross my arms and turn away. I kneel beside you. I lift your chin. I remind you who you are. You are my child. That identity does not change because of delays or detours. There is also something sacred that forms in you when you learn to trust me without immediate reward. When obedience is not instantly celebrated. When faith is not instantly validated. In those quiet stretches, your relationship with me becomes deeper than transactions. You begin to seek me not just for what I can give, but for who I am. That kind of love is unshakable. If this season feels heavy, do not interpret that weight as wrath. It is not my anger pressing down on you. It is my shaping hand, steady and careful. Like clay on a wheel, you may feel the pressure, but the potter's hands are skilled and intentional. I'm forming something beautiful, even when the spinning feels dizzying. Release the fear that you are being punished. Release the belief that you must earn my goodness. You cannot earn what I freely give. My love is not a reward for perfect behavior. It is the foundation you stand on while you grow. Trust that this waiting is not a sentence. It is a season. And seasons change. The one who holds time is holding you. My beloved child, while you focus on what you cannot see happening, there is so much unfolding behind the scenes. You stand on the surface of your life, looking at what appears still and unmoving. But beneath that surface, I am working with precision, weaving details together in ways your human eyes cannot yet perceive. Imagine a grand tapestry stretched across a frame. From the back, it looks chaotic. Threads cross in every direction. Colors seem tangled. Knots are visible. Nothing appears clear or beautiful. If you only saw that side, you might think the artist had lost control. But on the front side, the design is breathtaking, every thread placed with purpose, every color forming a pattern that tells a story. Right now, you are looking at the back of the tapestry. You see a loose end. You see confusion. You see delays and detours. But I see the finished design. I am not improvising your life. I'm crafting it. There are conversations happening that you know nothing about. Hearts are being softened. Doors are being positioned. Circumstances are shifting quietly. Even obstacles that seem to block you are being used as protection. There are paths you would have taken that would have led to unnecessary pain. There are connections you wanted that would have drained your spirit. So I redirected you, not to frustrate you, but to preserve you. My child, I'm aligning things that must come together at the right moment. Some blessings require multiple pieces to be in place at once. If one element is missing, the structure cannot stand. So I adjust. I arrange. I coordinate. I move pieces across distances and through time. Think of a conductor leading a great orchestra. Each instrument has its moment. The strings cannot rush ahead of the brass. The percussion cannot overpower the melody. If one musician tries to play before the cue, the harmony is broken. But when every section enters at the appointed time, the music is powerful and unified. Your life is part of a greater symphony. You are not playing alone. There are people connected to your destiny who are still being prepared. There are lessons they must learn, healing they must receive, growth they must experience before your paths intertwine. If I brought you together too soon, the harmony would not yet exist. You often ask, why is this taking so long? But you are not waiting in isolation. I am preparing environments, opportunities, and relationships that must align with who you are becoming. The version of you that steps into the promise will not be the same version who first prayed for it. You are evolving, and what awaits you must match that growth. Even the struggles you face are shaping unseen strength. Muscles grow through resistance. Roots grow deeper when the surface is dry. If rain fell constantly, roots would remain shallow. But in dry seasons, they search deeper for water, becoming strong and unshakable. In the same way, your soul is reaching deeper into me. There are dangers I have shielded you from that you will never know about. Accidents avoided, betrayals diverted, mistakes interrupted. You call some of these disappointments. I call them protection. You grieve closed doors, unaware that behind them were rooms not meant for you. My beloved, trust that I am not idle. Heaven is not silent because it is empty. It is silent because it is focused. I am attentive to every detail of your journey. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Even what feels like a setback is being woven into the final picture. When the moment comes, and it will, you will look back and see how perfectly it all fit together. You will understand why certain things had to end, why certain paths had to close, why certain delays were necessary. What feels disjointed now will make sense then. Until that day, rest in this truth. I am working beyond your sight. The hidden work is holy work, and what I am preparing for you is worth every unseen thread being woven right now. My beloved child, I want you to hear this clearly in your spirit. Your impatience is not a sin that pushes me away. Your longing does not offend me. Your cry of "I can't wait anymore" does not shock me. I form your heart. I understand its urgency. There is a difference between rebellion and desperation. Rebellion turns away from me. Desperation reaches toward me. And when you say, "Father, I am tired of waiting," you are not turning your back on me. You are reaching out with trembling hands. You are saying, "I need you to move." That is not weakness. That is relationship. Too often you judge yourself harshly. You think that because you feel frustrated, your faith must be small. You think that because you feel weary, you must be failing spiritually. But faith is not the absence of emotion. Faith is choosing to stay with me even while your emotions swirl. Even the strongest hearts grow weary in long seasons. Even the most devoted souls feel the strain of delay. Look at a runner in a marathon. In the final miles, their legs burn. Their lungs ache. Their thoughts scream, "Stop." That pain does not mean they regret starting the race. It means they have been running faithfully. The strain is evidence of endurance, not failure. In the same way, your impatience is often a sign that you have been believing for something deeply. You would not feel this tension if the promise did not matter to you. You would not feel this urgency if the dream were shallow. The depth of your longing reflects the depth of your hope. Come to me with that longing. Do not hide it. Do not pretend to be calm when you are not. I would rather hear your honest sigh than a polished prayer that conceals your true feelings. When you sit quietly and whisper, "I do not understand," I lean closer, not further away. There is a story of a small child waiting for his father to return from a long journey. Each day, he would run to the door at the slightest sound. Each time it was someone else, his shoulders would fall. One afternoon, he finally burst into tears and said, "Why hasn't he come yet? I can't wait anymore." The mother did not scold him for his impatience. She knelt down, wiped his tears, and said, "Your longing only shows how much you love him, and he is already on his way. My beloved, your longing shows your love. Your impatience reveals how much you care about what I have spoken over you, and I am already on the way with what I have prepared. But I also gently remind you of this. Do not let urgency push you into decisions that are born from fear instead of trust. There is a difference between moving with my guidance and moving because you are tired of standing still. Impatience can tempt you to settle for something that looks like relief but is not my best for you. When the waiting feels unbearable, pause instead of rushing. Breathe instead of forcing. Speak to me instead of reacting. I will guide your steps. I will calm your thoughts. I will steady your heart. You are allowed to feel the ache of waiting. You are allowed to desire more. You are allowed to ask me how much longer. Just do not carry it alone. Bring it into my presence. I do not measure you by how perfectly you endure. I measure you by your willingness to remain connected to me. And you are still here. Still listening. Still hoping. Alone speaks of your faith. So release the shame. Release the guilt. Your Father is not disappointed in your tired heart. I am holding it gently, even now. My beloved child, there is something I must lovingly warn you about in this season of waiting. When the delay feels too heavy, when the silence stretches too long, the temptation to move too soon becomes strong. You begin to think, maybe I should just make something happen. Maybe I should take matters into my own hands. At least then I will not feel stuck. I understand that urge. Action feels better than stillness. Movement feels better than uncertainty. Even the wrong door can look appealing when you are tired of standing in a hallway. But not every open door is sent by me, and not every opportunity is aligned with your destiny. Sometimes impatience whispers, "Anything is better than this." But that is not true. There are choices that would bring quick relief and long regret. There are paths that look smooth at first but lead you far from what I prepared. Think of a traveler waiting for the right ship to carry him across a vast sea. The harbor is crowded. Smaller boats offer immediate departure. They promise speed. They promise excitement. But they are not built for the depth of the ocean he must cross. If he boards them out of frustration, he may find himself stranded halfway, far from shore, with no safe way forward. My child, I have designed a vessel strong enough for your journey. It may not be docked yet. It may not be visible on the horizon. But it is being prepared. Do not board something fragile just because it is available. There was once a man who grew tired of waiting for rain. His fields were dry, and the sky remained clear day after day. In desperation, he dug channels to redirect water from a nearby stream that was never meant to feed his land. For a moment, the soil felt moist again. He thought he had solved the problem. But over time, the redirected water eroded the foundation of his field, washing away nutrients and weakening the ground. When the true rain finally came, the soil could not sustain the harvest. In the same way, shortcuts can weaken what I am strengthening in you. What you force prematurely may not endure. I know how convincing the alternative can seem. Just take the job. Just settle for this relationship. Just lower your standard. Just compromise a little. These thoughts come dressed as solutions. But deep within, you often sense the hesitation. That quiet check in your spirit is my gentle guidance. Waiting is uncomfortable, but misalignment is costly. When you move ahead of my timing, you carry burdens you were never meant to hold. You create complexities I did not design for you. And then you cry out for me to rescue you from what haste produced. I do rescue. I redeem. But I would rather guide you into peace than repair unnecessary pain. Do not mistake delay for absence of direction. Sometimes the most powerful step you can take is to remain still. To say, I will not move until I sense your peace. That kind of trust is strength, not weakness. I am not withholding movement from you forever. I am protecting the rhythm of your life. Every season has a pace. A seed planted today cannot be harvested tomorrow. If you tear it from the ground too early, you destroy the very thing you prayed for. My beloved, resist the urge to force what I have not yet released. The promise I gave you does not require manipulation. It does not need you to push open doors that are not ready. What is truly yours will not pass you by because you chose obedience over impulse. Hold steady, even when others rush ahead. Even when you feel pressure from every side, trust that I know when the door should open. And when it does, it will not require strain. It will align with peace. You are not losing time by waiting on me. You are safeguarding your future. And what I am preparing for you will not demand desperation. It will meet you with clarity and assurance. My beloved child, I want you to understand something that will calm your racing thoughts. Every season has an appointed time. Nothing in creation moves randomly. The sun does not rise whenever it feels ready. The tide does not shift without rhythm. The trees do not bear fruit every single day of the year. There is a divine order woven into everything I have made. Yet when it comes to your own life, you often expect constant summer. You want the fruit without the winter. You want the harvest without the planting. You want the bloom without the buried seed. But seasons are not signs of failure. They are signs of progression. When winter covers the ground, it can look lifeless. Trees stand bare. Fields appear empty. The air feels cold and uninviting. But beneath the frozen surface, life is not gone. It is resting. It is conserving strength. It is preparing for renewal. If winter never came, the soil would not reset. The cycles would be broken. The next harvest would be weaker. In the same way, your life moves through seasons. There are times of visible growth and celebration, and there are times of quiet stillness when you feel hidden and uncertain. Neither season defines your worth. Both are necessary. You measure time with calendars and clocks. I measure time with purpose. What feels late to you is often right on schedule in my design. You may say, "It has been too long," but I see how each month, each year, has shaped you in ways you did not notice. There is a difference between human timing and divine timing. Human timing demands immediate results. Divine timing considers every detail. Human timing rushes to relieve discomfort. Divine timing waits to ensure fullness. Imagine a baker preparing bread. If the dough is placed in the oven before it has risen properly, the bread will be dense and heavy. The rising requires patience. It cannot be forced without affecting the outcome. You might stand there tapping your foot, wishing the process would hurry. But the waiting is part of what makes the bread nourishing. You, my beloved, are in a rising season. It may not look impressive from the outside. Others may not see change. But inside, expansion is happening. Capacity is increasing. Strength is building. There is also something called the appointed moment. It is the intersection where preparation meets opportunity. If opportunity arrives before preparation is complete, it overwhelms you. If preparation is complete but opportunity has not yet appeared, you feel restless. But when both align, the result is powerful and lasting. I am the keeper of that alignment. You fear missing your moment, but what is meant for you cannot slip through your fingers when you are walking with me. I do not operate on accidents. I do not overlook my children. The same precision that guides the stars in the sky guides the steps of your life. There will be a shift. Just as winter gives way to spring, your current season will not last forever. Buds will appear where you saw only branches. Doors will open where walls once stood. But forcing spring in the middle of winter only damages what is growing. Trust the rhythm I have set for you. When you feel pressure to compare your timeline to someone else's, remember this: 2 seeds planted on the same day can sprout at different times. One may break through the soil quickly. The other may take longer because its roots are digging deeper. Both are alive. Both are valuable. But their growth patterns are not identical. Your season is intentional. Your timing is deliberate. Nothing about your journey is random. Rest in this truth, my child. I am not late, and you are not behind. You are moving through a divinely ordered season, and when the appointed time arrives, it will unfold with clarity and purpose. My beloved child, while you wait, something powerful is being formed inside you. You often focus on what is not happening around you, but you overlook what is happening within you. Waiting is not empty space. It is shaping space. You may not feel stronger. In fact, you may feel more fragile than ever. But strength is not always loud. It is not always visible. Sometimes strength grows quietly, like muscle built through resistance. When weight is placed on a muscle, it stretches, it strains, it even trembles. Yet through that tension, it becomes capable of carrying more. The pressure you feel right now is not designed to crush you. It is strengthening you. There are qualities developing in you that could not have been formed in comfort. Patience is being carved into your character. Humility is softening your heart. Dependence on me is deepening your roots. If everything had come quickly and easily, you might have trusted the gift more than the giver. But in this season, you are learning to cling to me. That is growth. There was once a young tree planted in an open field. In its early days, the wind came fiercely. Storms bent its thin trunk back and forth. It seemed almost cruel. Nearby, in a sheltered garden, another tree grew without disturbance, protected from harsh winds. At first, the sheltered tree looked healthier. Its leaves were smooth. Its branches were neat. But over time, When a greater storm arrived, the sheltered tree cracked under pressure. The tree that had faced winds early on had developed deep, steady roots. It swayed, but it did not fall. My child, the winds you face now are strengthening your foundation. What feels like strain is actually preparation. I am not hardening you. I am steadying you. You sometimes pray, "Make me ready." And then when readiness requires endurance, you question the process. Readiness is not only about opportunity. It is about maturity. It is about becoming someone who can carry the weight of blessing without losing balance. Think of a vessel being shaped from clay. The potter does not simply form it and leave it soft. It must go through fire to become durable. Without the heat, it would crumble at the slightest pressure. The fire does not destroy the vessel. It secures its strength. In the same way, this season is solidifying your faith. It is teaching you that my presence is enough even when outcomes are uncertain. It is showing you that you can survive days you once thought would break you. Look back for a moment. Think about challenges you faced before. At the time, they felt unbearable. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing. You are stronger than you think. Even your disappointments are refining your discernment. You are learning what truly matters. You are letting go of shallow desires and holding tighter to eternal truths. You are discovering that your identity is not rooted in achievements or timelines, but in being my child. That revelation alone is a fortress. Do not despise this waiting season. It is building resilience in you. It is teaching you to remain steady when emotions fluctuate. It is training you to trust beyond what you see. When the breakthrough comes, you will not enter it fragile and unprepared. You will enter it grounded. You may not see visible progress, but internal transformation is taking place. And what happens inside you will sustain what happens outside you. Hold on, my beloved. You are becoming ready in ways you cannot yet measure, and that readiness will make all the difference. My beloved child, I know you have reached a place where you whisper, "I cannot take much more." There is a unique exhaustion that comes right before a breakthrough. It feels heavier than all the other days. It feels sharper, more intense. You wake up already tired. You pray, but your words feel thin. You try to encourage yourself, but the strength you once had feels distant. This is the breaking point before the breaking open. When a woman is about to give birth, the pain does not lessen as the moment approaches. It increases. The pressure becomes overwhelming. There is a point where she feels she cannot continue. Yet that very intensity signals that life is about to emerge. The greatest pressure often comes right before the promise is revealed. You are not falling apart, my child. You are being stretched to carry what is coming. The enemy wants you to misinterpret this stage. He whispers, "See, it's getting worse. This means nothing is changing." But I tell you, the shift is closer than you realize. The shaking you feel is not collapse. It is movement. The ground beneath you is adjusting to make space for something new. There is a moment when a seed underground feels the final push against the soil. For weeks, it has grown in darkness. It has expanded in hidden places. Then suddenly, the pressure above it becomes almost unbearable. It must break through or remain buried. That breaking is not destruction. It is emergence. You are at that edge. You have prayed. You have waited. You have trusted through confusion. And now you stand at a threshold where surrender feels easier than persistence. But listen to me closely. Do not quit in the final stretch. Do not abandon hope when the answer is forming. Sometimes the last mile feels longer than the first 10. Sometimes the final night feels darker because dawn is near. I am not asking you to pretend you are strong. I am asking you to lean on me in this fragile hour. Let me carry what feels too heavy. Let me steady your trembling heart. This pressure is not punishment. It is transition. You say, I can't wait anymore. And I gently respond, you will not have to wait much longer. Not because I rush at your demand, but because the appointed moment is approaching. Everything you have endured has not been wasted. Every tear, every prayer, every silent act of obedience has been building toward this shift. Do not measure the breakthrough by visible signs yet. Some of the greatest miracles begin in unseen spaces. What feels like nothing changing may actually be everything aligning. Stay with me. Stay rooted. Stay open. The cracking you hear is not your life falling apart. It is the shell around your promise breaking open. And now, my beloved, as you stand at this sacred edge, I speak not only to you but through you. If this message has carried you through dark hours, if it has been a lamp in your night, then hear my heart in this moment. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description, and even before you in QR form, you are not supporting a channel, you are planting seeds into souls. As I have said, give, and it shall be given unto you. And I speak that promise over you now as living truth. When you respond to this call, you are saying, Father, use me to keep this light burning. Do not delay the obedience I am stirring in you. Let your gift become oil in the lamp that reaches the weary and the waiting. As you release your seed, I release blessing over your house, provision over your needs, and peace over your spirit. This is holy participation in my work. Step into it now. My beloved child, you are closer than you think. I know those words can feel distant when you are standing in the middle of uncertainty. You look around and everything appears the same. The same walls, the same routines, the same unanswered questions. Nothing seems to signal change. But closeness is not always visible. Sometimes it is measured not by what you see, but by what has already been completed behind the curtain. Think of a long hallway with many doors. You have been walking it for what feels like years. Each door you tried before was locked. Each attempt left you more cautious. And now you stand before another door, unsure whether to knock again. You wonder if you have the strength to face another closed entrance. But what you do not realize is that this door is not locked. The key has already been placed inside the mechanism. The hinges have already been loosened. It is ready. The miracle forming in your life is not starting from zero. It has been building gradually. Each delay added structure. Each disappointment added clarity. Each prayer added movement. What feels like stagnation has actually been construction. When a sculptor works on a masterpiece, there is a moment near the end where the shape is almost complete. To the untrained eye, it still looks unfinished. But to the artist, only a few final touches remain. Those final strokes may seem small, but they define the beauty of the whole piece. You are in that final shaping. You may say, but nothing has changed. Yet something inside you has changed. You do not react the way you once did. You do not panic as quickly. You do not chase every opportunity out of fear. That inner stability is evidence that you are nearing fulfillment. You are no longer desperate. You are becoming steady. The final stretch often feels the most challenging because it requires the deepest trust. At the beginning of a journey, enthusiasm carries you. In the middle, habit sustains you. But near the end, faith alone keeps you walking. You cannot see the finish line clearly, yet you sense it drawing near. Imagine a miner digging for treasure. For days he chips away at rock with no sign of gold. Dust fills the air. His hands grow tired. Many would quit at that stage, convinced there is nothing beneath the surface. But sometimes only one more strike stands between effort and reward. The miner cannot see how close he is because the treasure is hidden within the stone. Yet it is there. My child, you are one strike away in ways you cannot measure. Heaven has not been idle. There are conversations aligning in your favor. There are opportunities moving closer to your reach. There are hearts being prepared to receive what you carry. Just because you cannot see the shift does not mean it has not begun. I need you to hold your ground. Do not retreat into doubt now. Do not step backward into fear. The enemy intensifies discouragement near breakthrough because he senses movement before you do. When pressure increases, it is often a sign that something is about to change. Lift your eyes. Antisering but distressed. Your help has never been far. Your answer has never been lost. I am precise in my timing. I do not delay beyond what is necessary, and I do not release before you are ready. You are closer than you think. Closer to clarity. Closer to relief. Closer to fulfillment. The story is not stalling. It is converging. Stay with me, my beloved. The door before you is not like the others. And when it opens, you will understand why every step in this hallway mattered. My beloved child, do not abandon the field now. You have sung too much. You have prayed too long. You have endured too faithfully to walk away just before the harvest. I know the temptation. When you look at the ground and see no visible fruit, when the soil appears dry and unresponsive, you begin to wonder if it would be easier to leave it all behind and start somewhere else. But I am asking you to stay planted. A farmer does not dig up his seeds every week to check if they are growing. He trusts the process. He waters the soil. He removes weeds. He protects the land from harm. But he does not abandon it just because the harvest has not yet appeared. You, my beloved, are both the farmer and the field. You have planted seeds of obedience, seeds of kindness, seeds of discipline, seeds of faith when it would have been easier to doubt. And now you stand in a season where the field looks quiet. Do not mistake quiet for barrenness. The danger in mom waiting is not only discouragement. It is uprooting yourself prematurely. When frustration grows, you may think, maybe this is not the place. Maybe this is not the calling. Maybe I should just give up on this dream. But sometimes what feels like failure is simply growth beneath the surface. There was once a gardener who planted bamboo. For years, nothing visible happened above ground. He watered and tended the soil faithfully, yet no tall stalk appeared. Neighbors questioned his effort. They laughed gently, saying, "Why waste time on something that does not grow?" But beneath the soil, roots were spreading wide and deep. And when the bamboo finally broke through the surface, it grew rapidly, far taller than the surrounding plants in a short time. The years of hidden growth made the sudden height possible. My child, you are in a bamboo season. Your roots are strengthening in ways that cannot be measured by quick results. If you uproot yourself now, through doubt, through bitterness, through impatience, you interrupt the very growth you have been praying for. Staying does not mean doing nothing. It means remaining faithful. Continue to water your faith with prayer. Continue to remove the weeds of comparison and negativity. Continue to guard your heart from voices that tell you to quit. Even when you feel weary, let your actions reflect trust. You may not see green shoots yet, but the seed has not died. It is alive beneath the soil of your circumstances. Do not let temporary discouragement rob you of permanent blessing. Harvest requires endurance. Reaping comes after sowing, not before. The soil may look unchanged day after day, but that does not mean transformation is absent. It simply means transformation is hidden. And I see every hidden effort. I see every morning you chose hope instead of despair. I see every time you resisted the urge to give up. I see the tears you shed in private and the courage you displayed in public. Nothing you have done in faith has been wasted. If you leave the field now, you will never witness the fullness of what was about to rise. Stay steady. Stay rooted. Stay expectant. The field you have tended with such care is not empty. It is preparing. You are not foolish for believing. You are not naive for waiting. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are a farmer in a season of unseen growth. Remain in the field, my beloved. The harvest is not a myth. It is a promise. And promises kept by me do not fail. My beloved child, there are moments when you look at your life and think, this was not the plan. You had a timeline in your heart. You imagined how things would unfold. You pictured certain milestones happening in a particular order. But now, when you compare your expectations to your current reality, the lines do not match. The path feels altered. The route seems unfamiliar. You may believe something has gone wrong, but what you call a detour, I often call a redirection. There is a difference between a broken plan and a rewritten one. When I rewrite, I do not erase your destiny. I refine it. I adjust the path so that it leads you not just to success, but to wholeness. Sometimes the road you wanted would have given you achievement but stolen your peace. Sometimes the door you were pushing toward would have opened into a room too small for who you are becoming. Imagine a traveler using a map he drew himself. He studies it carefully and begins the journey with confidence. But halfway through, he encounters obstacles he did not anticipate. Roads closed, bridges under repair, terrain too dangerous to cross. Castrated he assumes he has failed. Yet above him, unseen, there is a guide who sees the entire landscape. That guide redirects him, leading him along a different route. The traveler may not understand the changes in the moment, but the guide knows which paths are safe and which lead to harm. My child, I see the full terrain of your life. You see one intersection at a time. When I redirect you, it is not because I am confused. It is because I am protecting you. There are dreams you held tightly that needed to be reshaped. Not because they were wrong, but because they were incomplete. I am not diminishing your vision. I am expanding it. Sometimes what you ask for is good, but what I have prepared is greater. To receive the greater, you must release the smaller version. You might say, but I invested so much into that plan. I know. I saw your effort. I honored your intentions. Nothing was wasted. Even the path that did not work taught you something essential. Even the closed chapter built skills and resilience you will carry into the next one. Think of an author revising a manuscript. The first draft contains passion and vision, but as the story unfolds, the author notices areas that require deeper character development, clearer direction, stronger resolution. So changes are made. Scenes are adjusted. Chapters are rearranged. The story becomes stronger because it was refined. Your life is not stuck in a rough draft. I am crafting the final version with wisdom and care. Trust that when I close one road, I open another that aligns more closely with your purpose. Trust that when I slow you down, it is not to frustrate you, but to position you. Trust that when I shift your focus, it is because something better is ahead. You have not lost your destiny. You have not missed your calling. I am not scrambling to fix mistakes. I am guiding you with intention. Even now, pieces are being rewritten in ways that will bring clarity later. You may not see the meaning of this chapter yet, but one day, you will look back and realize how necessary it was. You will see how the redirection saved you from exhaustion, from heartbreak, from limitations you did not recognize at the time. Let go of the version of the future you were clinging to so tightly. Open your hands. I am placing something more fitting within them. Your story is not broken. It is being beautifully revived. And I am the author who never loses control of the narrative. My beloved child, there is a blessing hidden inside what you call delay. I know that sounds difficult to accept. When you are waiting, when you are watching others move ahead, when your prayers feel suspended in midair, the last thing you want to hear is that this season holds a gift. But I tell you gently and truthfully, it does. Delay enlarges you. If I gave you certain blessings at the first moment you desired them, you might have celebrated, but you would not have been ready to sustain them. Some gifts require expanded capacity, and capacity is not formed overnight. It grows through stretching. Think of a vessel that must hold a great amount of water. If it is small and fragile, even a small pour will cause it to overflow or crack. But if that vessel is carefully widened, strengthened, and reinforced, it can carry abundance without breaking. The process of shaping and expanding it may feel uncomfortable. It may even feel like pressure. But without that process, it cannot contain what is coming. You are being enlarged, my child. The delay has deepened your understanding. It has softened areas of pride. It has revealed hidden fears that needed healing. It has strengthened your endurance. All of these are treasures that cannot be bought or ate. They are formed slowly like fine craftsmanship. Sometimes you look at a small door and think, if only that would open, I would be satisfied. But I see beyond the small door. I see the greater gate prepared for you. If I allowed you to settle for the smaller opening, you might miss the larger space designed for your growth. Delay often protects you from premature satisfaction. There is a story of a young musician who longed for immediate recognition. He wanted the stage. He wanted the applause. But his teacher kept him practicing scales and exercises, day after day, year after year. At times he grew frustrated, thinking he was being held back. Yet those long hours of preparation refined his skills so deeply that when the stage finally came, he was not overwhelmed. He was excellent. The applause did not destroy him because his foundation was strong. In the same way, I am refining you before revealing you. The blessing of delay is not just about external reward. It is about internal maturity. When you finally step into what I have prepared, you will carry wisdom you did not have before. You will handle influence with humility. You will handle provision with gratitude. You will handle opportunity with discernment. Without delay, you might have rushed in with excitement but lacked depth. With delay, you enter grounded and steady. I know you sometimes feel overlooked, but I am not overlooking you. I'm overseeing your development. I see what must be strengthened before the next door opens. I see where your confidence must grow. I see where your heart must heal. And I also see the greatness within you. There are blessings that require you to become more than you were yesterday. Delay gives you the time to become that person. It allows your character to rise to the level of your calling. Do not despise this season, my beloved. It is not empty. It is expanding you. It is making room inside your spirit for something larger than you imagined. When the gate opens, and it will, you will not enter as the same person who first prayed for it. You will enter as someone ready. The delay is not denying you. It is preparing you. And what I prepare carefully lasts. My beloved child, I know one of your deepest fears in this season is this: what if I missed it? You replay old decisions in your mind. You think about opportunities you did not take, words you did not say, chances that seemed to pass by. You wonder if one wrong move disqualified you. You ask quietly, did I lose my moment forever? Hear me clearly. You have not missed what I have written for you. I am not fragile in my plans. Your destiny is not so delicate that one imperfect choice can shatter it beyond repair. Yes, your decisions matter. Yes, obedience shapes your path. But my sovereignty is greater than your missteps. I am not pacing heaven saying, if only they had acted differently. I am the redeemer of time. There was once a craftsman who worked with reclaimed wood. The wood he used had knots, cracks, and marks from previous use. Some pieces had even been damaged by neglect. To an untrained eye, they looked ruined. But the craftsman saw potential. He sanded them, shaped them, reinforced them, and turned them into something beautiful and strong. The very marks that seemed like flaws became part of their character. In the same way, I take what you call mistakes and weave them into purpose. You may look at years that feel wasted, seasons where you wandered, times when fear held you back, and you think those years are gone beyond recovery. But I do not waste time. I redeem it. I can restore momentum in ways that surprise you. I can accelerate what was delayed. I can bring clarity where there was confusion. The fear of missing out often comes from comparing your life to someone else's timeline. You see them stepping into milestones you desired. You see doors opening for them. And you assume that because it has not happened for you yet, it never will. But your story is not a copy of theirs. Your path has its own rhythm. You cannot miss what is secured in my hand. There may have been doors you thought were yours that closed. But if they closed, they were not your final destination. What is truly meant for you cannot be permanently stolen by fear, by delay, or even by your imperfect choices. Imagine a train conductor guiding a train along its route. If the train encounters a temporary obstruction, it may pause. It may even take a brief detour. But it does not forget its destination. The final stop remains fixed. In the same way, your journey may have experienced pauses or shifts, but your purpose remains. You are not standing outside your destiny looking in. You are still on the path, even when it feels unclear. Release the regret that weighs on you. Regret can paralyze you in the present. It convinces you that your best days are behind you. But I am not confined to your past. I am active in your present. I am shaping your future. You have not ruined the story. You have not disqualified yourself from my promises. Even when you stumbled, I was there. Even when you doubted, I remained steady. My beloved, lift your head. The opportunity that belongs to you is not fragile. It is guarded by my faithfulness. What I intend to bring into your life will arrive in its time. You have not missed it. You are still being led. Trust me with the chapters behind you and the pages ahead. I am writing redemption into every line. My beloved child, there are times when my silence feels louder than any answer. You pray, you wait, you listen, and all you hear is quiet. In those moments, your heart begins to wonder if I have stepped away. You ask, why are you not speaking? Why do I not feel you the way I once did? Let me tell you something gently. Silence does not mean absence. When a teacher gives a test, she does not speak constantly during the exam. He watches. He observes. She allows the student to apply what has already been taught. Her quietness is not neglect. It is confidence that the lesson hath been planted deeply enough to stand on its own. In the same way, when I seem quiet, it is often because I trust what I have already placed inside you. I have spoken truth into your heart. I have shown you my faithfulness in past seasons. I have carried you through storms before. Now, in this quieter space, I am inviting you to remember. You may not feel emotional reassurance every day. You may not sense dramatic signs or powerful confirmations. But faith is not built on constant sensation. It is built on steady trust. Think of a child learning to ride a bicycle. At first, the father holds tightly to the back of the seat. The child feels supported, secure. But eventually, the father loosens his grip, stepping back while still watching closely. For a moment, the child feels alone, wobbling, uncertain. Yet the father is right there, ready to catch him if he falls. The release is not abandonment. It is growth. My silence can feel like that release. But I have not walked away. I am watching with love. I am allowing you to strengthen your balance. I am allowing you to move forward with what you have learned. You often equate my presence with strong emotion. But my presence is deeper than feeling. It is woven into your breath. It is in the quiet conviction that keeps you from making harmful choices. It is in the unexpected peace that steadies you in chaos. It is in the small whisper that says, "Keep going." There are moments when you wish I would simply explain everything. You want clarity about timelines, outcomes, details. But if I revealed every step ahead of time, you might rely on information instead of intimacy. You might cling to the plan instead of to me. In silence, intimacy deepens. When you cannot see clearly, you learn to lean closer. When you cannot hear loudly, you learn to listen more carefully. When you cannot feel constant reassurance, you begin to anchor yourself in what you know to be true rather than what you temporarily experience. You are not walking alone in a silent world. You are walking with me in a quiet season. Quiet seasons are often sacred ones. They strip away distractions. They reveal what truly matters. They refine your trust. And they prepare you for what comes next. If you feel like I am distant, pause and remember the times I carried you before. Remember the prayers I have already answered. Remember the doors I have already opened. My character has not changed. My love has not shifted. The silence you experience is not a wall between us. It is a space where deeper faith is being formed. Stay close, my beloved. Even when my voice seems gentle, even when my movement seems slow, I am here. I have never left your side, and I never will. My beloved child, I see the tears you tried to hide, the ones that fall quietly when no one else is watching, the ones you wipe away quickly so that you can appear strong. You may think they disappear unnoticed, but not one of them escapes my sight. Every tear has meaning to me. There are nights when the weight of waiting becomes too much, and your heart feels like it is cracking under pressure. You do not always have words for the ache. Sometimes it is just a heaviness in your chest, a tightness in your throat, a silence that feels louder than noise. In those moments, you wonder if anyone truly understands. I understand. When you cry out in frustration, when you weep from exhaustion, when disappointment feels sharper than you expected, I am not distant. I am close. I do not turn away from your sorrow. I draw near to it. Your pain does not intimidate me. Your brokenness does not repel me. It invites my tenderness. Imagine a loving father kneeling beside his child who has fallen and scraped their knee. The child's tears are real. The pain is real. The father does not dismiss it by saying, "It's nothing." He gathers the child into his arms. He speaks gently. He stays present until the sobbing slows. That is how I hold you in your pain. Your tears are not weakness. They are honesty. You have been strong for so long. You have carried responsibilities, expectations, silent battles. Sometimes you feel like you cannot afford to break down. You believe you must keep moving, keep performing, keep believing without faltering. But I never asked you to pretend you are unshakable. I only ask you to remain connected to me. Even your tears are prayers. When words fail you, your tears speak. They say, "I'm tired." They say, "I need comfort." They say, "I do not understand." And I hear every one of those unspoken sentences. There is a sacred exchange that happens when you bring me your sorrow. You release your heaviness, and I give you quiet strength. It may not always come as sudden relief. Sometimes it is simply the ability to take the next breath. Sometimes it is the courage to face one more day. But that strength is my gift to you. Do not be ashamed of your emotions. I created your heart with depth. I form your capacity to feel. Grief, disappointment, longing. These are not signs of failure. They are signs that you care deeply. They are signs that what you hoped for mattered. And what matters to you matters to me. There will come a day when the tears you shed in secret will be replaced with laughter in the open. There will come a day when the ache you carry now will feel like a distant memory. But until that day arrives, I remain your comfort. Lean into me when you cry. Do not turn away in embarrassment. I am not judging you for your sadness. I am honoring your vulnerability. Nothing you endure is invisible. Nothing you feel is ignored. Your tears are not falling onto empty ground. They are collected, cherished, and remembered. You are not alone in your sorrow, my beloved. I am near to you in it. And even as you weep, I am quietly working toward the joy that will follow. My beloved child, one of the quiet battles you face in this season is the battle of comparison. You do not always speak it aloud, but it moves through your thoughts. You see others stepping into what you hoped for. You watch their celebrations. You hear their testimonies. And something inside you tightens. You tell yourself you are happy for them, and in many ways you are. But beneath that there is a whisper that says, "Why not me? Why not now?" Comparison is subtle. It rarely announces itself boldly. It slips into your mind when you scroll through updates. It appears when you attend gatherings and hear about someone else's breakthrough. It grows when you measure your timeline against theirs. And slowly, it begins to distort your perspective. You forget that I am writing different stories. No two lives are identical in purpose, timing, or design. Just as no two fingerprints are the same, no two journeys are meant to unfold in the exact same way. When you compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 10, you create unnecessary discouragement. Imagine a garden filled with many kinds of flowers. Some bloom early in the spring. Others do not blossom until late summer. If a late-blooming flower looked at the early one and said, "Something must be wrong with me," it would misunderstand its own nature. It was not created to bloom at the same time. Its beauty has a different season. You, my child, are not behind. You are simply in a different season. Comparison also blinds you to your own growth. You overlook the quiet progress you have made because you are focused on someone else's visible success. You fail to see how far you have come. You ignore the strength you have gained. You dismiss the resilience you have developed. The enemy uses comparison to make you feel small. He wants you to believe that you are overlooked, less favored, less capable. But that is not truth. I do not distribute purpose unevenly. I do not play favorites with destiny. Each of my children carries something unique. You carry experiences, insights, gifts, and perspectives that no one else can replicate. If you try to walk someone else's path, you will miss the power of your own. There is also something you cannot see when you compare yourself to others. You do not see their private struggles. You do not see their hidden doubts. You do not see the battles they fought before their breakthrough appeared. You see the fruit, but not the cultivation. When you allow comparison to take root, gratitude begins to fade. You focus on what you lack instead of what you have. You measure yourself by external markers instead of internal growth. My beloved, lift your eyes away from others and back to me. Your journey with me is personal, is intimate, is intentional. I am not rushing you to keep pace with anyone else. I am guiding you according to the rhythm that best shapes you. Celebrate others without diminishing yourself. Bless their progress without questioning your own worth. Trust that what I have assigned to you is neither delayed nor denied because of someone else's success. The garden is large enough for every flower to bloom. Release comparison. It does not serve your peace. It clouds your joy and steals your focus. You are not competing for my attention. You already have it fully. Your path is sacred. Your timing is deliberate. And your bloom will come in its appointed season. My beloved child, faith is proven most clearly in delay. It is easy to believe when you see immediate results. It is simple to trust when doors open quickly and answers arrive without struggle. But real faith, deep, steady, unshakable faith, reveals itself when nothing appears to be moving and you choose to trust me anyway. You often think faith should feel strong and confident all the time. You imagine it as bold declarations and unwavering certainty. But faith is often quieter than that. Sometimes faith looks like waking up and praying again after a long night of doubt. Sometimes it looks like choosing not to give up when you have every reason to walk away. There was once a man who was promised something that seemed impossible. Years passed, and the promise did not materialize. His body ached. His circumstances seemed to contradict the very word he had received. Every natural sign suggested that the window had closed. Yet he continued to trust. Not because he understood the timeline, but because he trusted the one who made the promise. My beloved, when you trust me beyond what you can see, you are building a faith that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Delay tests your perspective. It asks you, do you trust the outcome or do you trust the one who holds it? When the outcome is visible, it is easy to say, I believe. But when the outcome is hidden, belief becomes a decision rather than a reaction. You may not feel heroic in this season. You may feel uncertain, even fragile. But every time you choose to remain in relationship with me instead of turning away, you are exercising faith. Every time you resist bitterness and choose hope, you are strengthening it. Faith is like a muscle. It grows under tension. If it is never stretched, it remains small. But when it is challenged, when it must hold steady under pressure, it becomes resilient. I know you sometimes ask, why must my faith be tested? Understand this. I am not testing you to expose weakness. I am allowing refinement to reveal strength. There are layers of trust within you that you did not know existed. This season is uncovering them. Think of a bridge suspended over deep water. It is not considered reliable until it has endured weight. Engineers test it with heavy loads to ensure it will not collapse under pressure. In the same way, your faith is being strengthened so that when greater responsibility and blessing come, you will not crumble. You are not being set up to fail. You are being built to endure. Delay also strips away false supports. It removes the illusion that you can control everything. It invites you to rely on me more deeply. In that reliance, intimacy grows. You begin to know me not just as a provider of outcomes, but as a companion in uncertainty. That intimacy is precious. When the promise finally arrives, it will not simply be a reward. It will be the fruit of trust developed in hidden places. And the faith you cultivated during delay will carry you through future seasons as well. Do not despise this proving ground. It is shaping you into someone unshakable. Even when your voice trembles, even when your heart feels weary, your choice to stay with me matters. Faith in delay is not weakness. It is strength forged quietly. Hold on, my beloved. Your trust is not misplaced. It is being anchored in something eternal. My beloved child, while you wait, I am aligning the right people around you. You often focus on events and outcomes, but destiny is rarely fulfilled alone. There are connections I am preparing that will shape your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. You may feel isolated in this season. You may feel like you are walking alone, like no one truly understands what you carry. But isolation is not the final picture. It is often a preparation room. Before certain relationships enter your life, I must first shape your heart and theirs. There are people who will walk beside you in your next chapter who are not ready yet. Not because they are unworthy, but because their own journey is still unfolding. Just as you are being refined, so are they. If I brought you together too soon, misunderstanding would replace harmony. Timing protects connection. Think of two puzzle pieces crafted to fit perfectly together. If one piece is not fully formed, the connection will feel forced. But once both are shaped completely, they lock into place naturally. I am shaping your piece. I am shaping theirs. There are also relationships I have lovingly removed from your life. At the time, you may have felt confused or hurt. You may have tried to hold on. But some connections were seasonal. They served a purpose for a time, but they were not meant to journey with you forever. Letting go was not loss. It was alignment. You cannot step into new spaces while clinging to old ones that no longer fit. I am also protecting you from connections that would hinder rather than help. Not every opportunity to connect is beneficial. Some people enter your life with charm but carry distraction. Some bring excitement but not stability. I see what you cannot see. I guard your path from influences that would dilute your calling. While you feel alone, I am orchestrating introductions. While you feel unseen, I am positioning you for recognition by the right eyes. While you feel overlooked, I am preparing hearts that will value what you bring. There will be divine appointments, conversations that seem ordinary but shift your direction, encounters that feel small but open doors. You will look back and realize that what appeared random was carefully arranged. Imagine a master weaver creating a net. Each strand must be placed precisely so that the structure can hold weight. If even one strand is missing or misaligned, the net weakens. In the same way, the people in your life are part of a greater structure. I'm weaving connections with intention. Do not rush into relationships out of loneliness. Do not accept partnerships out of fear that you will miss your chance. Trust that what is meant for you will meet you at the right time. When the right people arrive, there will be peace. There will be clarity. There will be mutual growth. You will not have to strain to prove yourself. You will not have to shrink to be accepted. The alignment will feel steady. Until then, allow me to prepare you. Allow me to refine your discernment. Allow me to strengthen your boundaries. You are not alone, my beloved. Even in seasons of solitude, I am building a network around you. The helpers, the friends, the partners, the encouragers, they are being shaped. When the time comes, the right connections will not require force. They will fit into place with grace. Trust my orchestration. I am aligning what you cannot yet see. My beloved child, there is a reason the pressure feels heavier right now. There is a reason discouragement seems louder. You are closer than you realize, and the enemy senses movement before you do. When breakthrough approaches, resistance often increases. You may have noticed that just when you begin to regain hope, something unexpected tries to shake you. A negative thought grows louder. An old fear resurfaces. A sudden setback appears. It feels intentional, always targeted. And in many ways, it is. The enemy does not waste effort attacking what poses no threat. He intensifies opposition when he senses progress. Do not be alarmed by this. Be aware. Imagine a runner in a race who suddenly feels the strongest burn in their muscles near the finish line. The body protests. The mind says, slow down. Fatigue becomes overwhelming. But that final stretch is not proof that the race was pointless. It is evidence that the finish line is near. The enemy's greatest strategy in this moment is not destruction. It is discouragement. If he can convince you to quit voluntarily, he does not have to block your destiny. If he can plant enough doubt to make you step aside, he achieves his goal without force. That is why thoughts like it's never going to happen feel so persistent. That is why you may suddenly question everything you believed before. The goal is not to overpower you. It is to wear you down. But you are not alone in this battle. I am your strength when yours feels thin. I am your clarity when confusion rises. I am your shield when negativity presses in. The enemy may whisper lies, but my truth is stronger. You have endured too much to surrender now. You have grown too deeply to retreat at the final step. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, every act of obedience you chose, none of it was meaningless. You are not standing at the beginning. You are standing at the edge. When pressure increases, do not assume collapse is coming. Often, pressure precedes release. Like a storm that builds before it breaks into rain, intensity can signal change. The enemy wants you to misinterpret the battle. He wants you to believe that resistance means failure. But resistance often means impact. It means you carry something valuable. It means your next step matters. Do not engage every negative thought as if it is truth. Observe it. Bring it to me. Replace it with what you know I have spoken over you. You are called. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. Fatigue is not a signal to quit. It is a signal to lean on me more deeply. Picture a soldier standing guard near the gates of a city. If the enemy sees the gate beginning to open, he may attack with greater intensity. Not because he has already won, but because he knows he is about to lose ground. The gate in your life is beginning to move. Hold your position. Stay anchored. Do not surrender to temporary discouragement. The enemy's noise does not determine your outcome. My promise does. You are stronger than the voice trying to undermine you. You are closer than the doubt suggests. And I am with you in this final stretch. Stand firm, my beloved. Victory does not always announce itself loudly at first. Sometimes it approaches quietly, just beyond the noise. My beloved child, what you are walking through right now is not only delay, and it is not only resistance, It is refining fire. I know the word fire can sound frightening. It brings to mind destruction, loss, pain. But not all fire is meant to consume. Some fire is meant to purify. When gold is first taken from the earth, it is mixed with other elements. To the untrained eye, it does not look valuable. It looks dull, ordinary, even rough. But when the goldsmith places it into the furnace, heat rises. The metal begins to melt. Impurities rise to the surface. They are skimmed away carefully. The heat is not there to ruin the gold. It is there to reveal its brilliance. You, my beloved, are in a refining season. The pressures you face are bringing hidden things to the surface. Old fears you thought were gone. Subtle insecurities. Lingering doubts. At times you feel unsettled by what rises within you. You think, I thought I was stronger than this. But the fire does not create weakness. It reveals what was already there so it can be removed. Refinement is uncomfortable because it requires exposure. It asks you to confront parts of yourself you would rather ignore. But I am not exposing you to shame you. I am exposing you to free you. Think of a craftsman shaping steel into a blade. The metal must be heated and held repeatedly. It must endure tension and shaping. Without that process, it would remain soft and ineffective. But through the fire and the shaping, it becomes strong and precise. You are being strengthened in ways that will make you steady in your next season. Perhaps you have noticed that your tolerance for certain distractions has decreased. Things that once satisfied you no longer do. Conversations that once felt harmless now feel empty. Situations you once accepted now feel misaligned. That is refinement. Your spirit is becoming more discerning. The fire is also burning away dependence on temporary comforts. You are learning to rely less on immediate validation and more on lasting truth. You are learning to find identity not in achievement but in relationship with me. Refining fire does not last forever. It has a purpose and a duration. The goldsmith does not leave the gold in the furnace indefinitely. He watches carefully. He removes it at the right moment. And how does he know when it is ready? Well, he can see his reflection clearly in it. My beloved, I am shaping you until my reflection is clear in your character. Not in perfection, but in love, in patience, in humility, in strength. The fire you feel now is not proof that you are failing. It is evidence that you are being prepared for greater weight, greater clarity, greater influence. And you are not alone in it. I am with you in the heat. I am not standing at a distance, watching you endure. I'm present, steady, attentive. I know exactly how much you can handle. I know exactly when to lift the temperature and when to cool it. Trust this process. When you emerge from this season, you will not look the same. You will shine differently. You will carry quiet confidence. You will stand with deeper peace. The fire is not your enemy. It is your transformation. Hold on, my beloved. The refining is almost complete, and what remains will be pure, strong, and ready. My beloved child, never underestimate the power of your small acts of obedience. You may think that because your steps feel ordinary, they do not matter. You may believe that unless something dramatic happens, progress is not taking place. But I tell you this gently and truthfully, every quiet yes you give me is creating momentum. Momentum is not always loud. It does not always announce itself with visible change. Sometimes it builds quietly, like a river carving through stone. At first, the rock appears unchanged. But day after day, the steady flow shapes it. What seems small becomes powerful over time. When you choose to pray even when you feel tired, that is momentum. When you refuse to compromise even when no one is watching, that is momentum. When you speak kindly instead of reacting in anger, that is momentum. Each of these decisions strengthens your foundation. You may look at your life and think, I am not doing anything extraordinary. But faithfulness in small things carries extraordinary weight in my hands. There was once a young servant tasked with sweeping the floors of a great hall. He dreamed of leading, of influencing, of standing on a platform. Yet every day he was given the same simple task. At times he felt unseen, but he chose to sweep carefully, to clean thoroughly, to work with integrity. Years later, when leadership was needed, he was entrusted with greater responsibility. Not because of sudden grills, but because of consistent faithfulness. You are building trust through your obedience. Every seed you plant matters. You may not see the sprout immediately, but seeds beneath the soil are never wasted. When you resist bitterness, you plant peace. When you forgive, you plant freedom. When you persevere, you plant strength. Heaven responds to obedience. You might wonder, how can something so small create change? But consider a wheel beginning to turn. At first, it moves slowly. It feels almost resistant. But with continued movement, it gathers speed. What required effort at the beginning becomes smoother over time. That is momentum. You are in the turning phase. Even when your circumstances seem unchanged, your consistent trust is shifting the spiritual atmosphere around you. You are aligning yourself with my will, and alignment brings acceleration in its time. Do not despise routine obedience. Do not belittle the quiet discipline of showing up again and again. Breakthroughs are often built on unseen consistency. You may think that because no one applauds your effort, it goes unnoticed. But I see it. I see the moment you choose patience. I see the moment you resist the urge to quit. I see the courage it takes to believe again after disappointment. Each decision strengthens the path before you. Momentum also guards you against sudden collapse. When blessing arrives, it will not feel foreign to you because you have been practicing faithfulness. You will not be overwhelmed because you have been prepared gradually. Stay steady, my beloved. Do not look for fireworks in every step. Look for alignment. Look for integrity. Look for peace. The small things you do today are shaping the larger things of tomorrow. Continue walking. Continue choosing wisely. Continue trusting. You are not stagnant. You are building. And the momentum you can't yet see will soon become movement you cannot ignore. My beloved child, joy is returning to you. I know that right now those words may feel distant. You have grown so accustomed to carrying weight that lightness feels unfamiliar. You have learned how to function while tired, how to smile while aching, how to move forward while uncertain. But this season of heaviness is not permanent. It has an ending. There is a rhythm in life that mirrors the rising of the sun. Night can feel endless when you are inside it. Darkness stretches long. Shadows distort your thoughts. But no matter how deep the night becomes, it cannot stop the dawn. Morning does not ask permission from the dark. It arrives because it was appointed to. In the same way, joy has an appointed hour in your life. You may have forgotten what it feels like to laugh without effort. You may have forgotten what it feels like to anticipate something good without fear that it will disappoint you. But those feelings are not lost forever. They are resting, waiting for their time to rise again. There was once a woman who carried sorrow for many years. She had faced losses she never expected. She had endured disappointments that chip away at her hope. Slowly, she began to protect her heart by lowering her expectations. She told herself, "If I do not hope too much, I will not be hurt again." But in doing so, she also dimmed her capacity for joy. One day, something small shifted. A simple act of kindness, an unexpected opportunity, a new beginning. At first she was cautious. She did not want to believe too quickly. But as time passed, she realized that her heart could expand again. Joy returned gently, not as a loud celebration, but as a steady warmth. That is how joy will return to you. It may not come with fireworks. It may begin as a quiet sense of relief. A moment when your shoulders relax. A day when you notice you are not as burdened as before. A conversation that leaves you smiling unexpectedly. Joy does not always erase the memory of sorrow, but it softens its weight. You have been in a refining season. You have endured delay. You have faced doubts. And yet, you are still here. That alone is a sign that something stronger than sorrow lives within you. Joy is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of hope. I am restoring what weariness tried to steal from you. I am reviving parts of your heart that felt numb. I am breathing life into dreams that seem fragile. There will be laughter in your house again. There will be celebration in your story. There will be days when you look back at this season and realize how far you have come. Do not close your heart in self-protection. Do not assume that disappointment is your permanent companion. This chapter of heaviness is not the conclusion of your story. When morning comes, it does not argue with the night. It simply shines. Allow me to prepare your heart for joy again. Even now, subtle changes are occurring. Light is increasing, even if you do not yet perceive it fully. Hold on, my beloved. The same faithfulness that carried you through sorrow will carry you into gladness. And when joy returns, it will feel deeper because you understand what it means to wait for it. Morning is closer than you think. My beloved child, there are moments in your life when everything seems to move slowly, and then there are moments when what felt delayed suddenly accelerates. You have grown used to the slow pace. You have adjusted to waiting. But I want you to prepare your heart for something different. There are suddenly moments in my timing. You may think that because it has taken a long time, it will continue at the same speed. But delay does not mean permanent slowness. Sometimes I allow seasons of preparation so that when movement begins, it unfolds swiftly and clearly. Imagine a plane sitting on a runway. For a while, it moves slowly. It taxis into position. It aligns carefully. The engines build power gradually. If you were watching from a distance, you might think it would never lift off. But once the right speed is reached, once the alignment is correct, the plane rises into the air faster than expected. You are on the runway, my child. The engines have been building. All the waiting, the refining, the strengthening, the aligning, it has not been stagnant. It has been gathering momentum. And when the appointed moment arrives, what felt impossible to move will begin to shift. Do not be surprised when doors that seemed sealed begin to open quickly. Do not be alarmed when opportunities appear one after another. Do not doubt when confirmation replaces confusion. Acceleration often follows endurance. There was once a man who had labored for years on a vision no one else understood. He built quietly. He prepared patiently. For a long time, nothing seemed to happen. But when the time was right, recognition came swiftly. What looked like an overnight success was actually the result of years of unseen groundwork. Your acceleration will not be random. It will be the harvest of what you have cultivated in secret. You have prayed in private. You have obeyed in silence. You have grown in hidden places. When the shift occurs, others may see only the result, but you will know the journey that brought you there. I am also capable of restoring time. What you think was lost can be redeemed. What you think was delayed beyond recovery can be brought forward with precision. I am not limited by calendars or age or human expectation. I hold time in my hands. Acceleration does not mean chaos. It does not mean rushing ahead carelessly. It means that the groundwork is complete, and the next stage unfolds with clarity. You may feel hesitant to believe this. After so much waiting, hope can feel fragile. But do not guard yourself against good news. Prepare your heart to receive. Stay grounded. Stay humble. Stay connected to me. When acceleration comes, you will need the stability built during delay. The very patience you cultivated will keep you balanced as things begin to move. My beloved, I am not teasing you with possibility. I am preparing you for fulfillment. The same hand that slowed certain paths is the hand that will quicken others. The same voice that asked you to wait will say, "Now." And when that moment comes, you will understand why the waiting was necessary. You will see how every step aligned perfectly. Be ready. The shift is closer than you think. What has been building quietly is about to move visibly. And when it does, you will know that it was my timing all along. My beloved child, as you stand between what has been and what is coming, I am teaching you something precious. How to wait well. Waiting well is not the same as waiting anxiously. It is not pacing the floor with fear. It is not constantly checking the door to see if it has opened yet. Waiting well is a posture of trust. It is learning to rest even when you do not have all the answers. I know uncertainty makes you uncomfortable. You want clarity. You want timelines. You want confirmation that everything will unfold exactly as you hope. But peace does not come from having every detail. Peace comes from knowing the one who holds the details. Imagine a child sitting in the passenger seat of a car during a long journey. The child does not know every turn in the road. He does not understand the map. He cannot see beyond the windshield. But if he trusts the driver, he can rest. He can look out the window without fear. He can even fall asleep, confident that the one steering knows the way. I am asking you to sit in that seat of trust. Waiting well means choosing stillness over panic. It means allowing your heart to be steady even when circumstances shift. It means releasing the need to control outcomes. Control feels safe to you. It gives the illusion of certainty. But control often leads to tension. Trust, though it feels vulnerable, leads to rest. There is strength in calmness. There is power in quiet confidence. When storms rage, trees with deep roots do not thrash wildly. They bend, but they remain grounded. Their stability comes from what is beneath the surface, not from what is visible. You are learning to root yourself deeply in me. Perhaps you have noticed that you react differently now than you once did. Where you would have panicked before, you pause. Where you would have forced action, you wait. That is growth. That is maturity. Waiting well also means continuing to live fully in the present. Do not put your life on hold while you wait for the next chapter. Do not postpone joy, kindness, or gratitude until everything aligns perfectly. There is beauty in this moment, even if it is not the final picture. Look around you. There are small blessings you may overlook because your eyes are fixed on the horizon. There are relationships to nurture. There are lessons to absorb. There are quiet gifts in this season. When you wait well, you do not waste the in-between. You breathe deeply. You trust steadily. You act faithfully. You remain open to my guidance. Waiting well does not mean you never feel doubt. It means doubt does not rule you. It means when fear whispers, you answer with truth. It means when impatience rises, you bring it to me instead of letting it drive you. My beloved, this season is teaching you endurance wrapped in peace. It is shaping you into someone who does not crumble under uncertainty. You do not need to rush. You do not need to strive. You do not need to prove your readiness. Rest in my arms. Let your heart be quiet for a moment. Let your thoughts settle. The one who called you is faithful. And as you wait well, you will find that the waiting itself becomes lighter. Not because everything is resolved, but because you are anchored. Trust me. I am guiding you gently through this space between promise and fulfillment. My beloved child, there is something about your story that you cannot yet fully see. The very season you wish would end quickly is becoming the foundation of someone else's hope. You often think your struggle is only about you. You see the waiting, the refining, the tears, the doubts. You measure the season by how it feels personally. But I see beyond this chapter. I see the people who will one day hear your story and find strength because you did not quit. Pain, when surrendered to me, becomes purpose. Right now, you are living through pages that feel heavy. You are asking questions that do not yet have visible answers. But there will come a day when someone else stands in a similar place, tired, confused, tempted to give up, and they will encounter you. They will see the steadiness in your eyes. They will hear the quiet confidence in your voice. And when they ask how you endured, you will have a testimony. A testimony is not built in comfort. It is forged in endurance. Think of a lighthouse standing on a rocky shore. It does not shine because the sea is calm. It shines because storms rage. Its light becomes most valuable when waves crash and darkness thickens. Without the storm, the light would not be noticed in the same way. You, my beloved, are becoming that light. The strength forming inside you will not only sustain you, it will guide others. The wisdom you are gaining will speak into someone else's confusion. The patience you are learning will encourage someone else's impatience. There was once a traveler who crossed a difficult mountain path. The climb was steep. The air was thin. At times he stumbled and questioned whether he would make it. But he persisted. When he finally reached the other side, he did not forget the difficulty. Later, when others attempted the same journey, he stood at the base and said, "I have walked this road. I know where it is narrow. I know where it is steep. Do not give up. There is beauty on the other side. Your future words will carry weight because they will be rooted in experience. Nothing you endure with me is wasted. Every lesson, every tear, every quiet victory becomes part of your testimony. Even your doubts, once overcome, become bridges for others who struggle. You may not feel like a leader right now. You may not feel like an example. But leadership often grows in hidden seasons. It is cultivated in humility. It is shaped through perseverance. One day, someone will say, "Because you did not give up, I found the courage to keep going." You may never know how far your influence reaches. But I see it. This is why your endurance matters. This is why your faith in delay matters. It is not only shaping your destiny, it is preparing you to strengthen others. When you feel tempted to quit, remember this. Your story is still being written, and the chapter you are living now will one day be a beacon. Stay steady, my beloved. You are not only surviving this season, you are becoming a source of light. And when the time comes, your voice will carry comfort, not because you avoided hardship, but because you walked through it with me. My beloved child, you have come so far. You have endured the silence, the delay, the refining, the resistance. You have grown in ways you did not expect. And now, because you are near to the shift, there is one more temptation you must be aware of, the temptation to step out of alignment just before the door opens. When waiting has been long, compromise can look reasonable. You may think, I have waited enough. Surely a small adjustment will not matter. You may feel the urge to lower your standards, to accept less than what I promised, to move ahead without my peace just to escape the tension. But my beloved, do not step out of alignment now. Alignment is not about perfection. It is about positioning. When you stay aligned with my truth, my character, my timing, you remain in the flow of my design. But when you allow frustration to guide you, you shift slightly off course. That small shift may not feel significant at first, but over time it can lead you somewhere you never intended to go. Imagine a compass guiding a traveler through a vast desert. If the needle is only slightly off, the traveler may not notice in the beginning. But mile after mile, that small deviation leads far from the destination. In the same way, even subtle compromise can redirect your steps. This is not a warning spoken in fear. It is guidance spoken in love. You are at a delicate moment. The pressure to act hastily may increase. The desire to force clarity may grow stronger. Voices around you may say, "Why are you still waiting? Why not just take what is available?" But not everything available is appointed. Guard your heart. Remain steady in what you know I have spoken. Do not allow temporary emotion to override lasting truth. If there is no peace, pause. If there is confusion, wait. If there is pressure, lean into me instead of reacting. There was once an archer who had trained for years to hit a distant target. His hand was steady. His eye was focused. But at the final moment, just before releasing the arrow, doubt flickered. He adjusted slightly, trying to correct something that did not need correction. That small shift caused the arrow to miss its mark. Had he trusted his preparation and remained steady, the shot would have been true. You have been prepared. Trust what I have built in you. Do not let impatience undo discipline. Do not let fear distort discernment. You have come too far to step aside now. This final stretch is about stability. It is about remaining anchored in truth even when emotion rises. It is about guarding the peace you have cultivated. Alignment will keep you ready. When the door opens, and it will, you want to step through it without regret. You want to enter the next season whole, not carrying unnecessary complications born from haste. Stay close to me in these moments. Let my peace be your confirmation. Let my wisdom guide your decisions. Let my timing remain your trust. You are not missing out by waiting a little longer. You are protecting the integrity of what is coming. Hold your position, my beloved. The door is nearer than you realize. And when it opens, you will step through it confidently because you remained aligned. My beloved child, you can feel it now, can't you? Something is shifting. The weight is not as crushing as it once was. The fear is not as loud. The despair that once whispered constantly has grown quieter. This is not your imagination. The door is about to open. For so long, you stood outside what felt like a closed entrance. You knocked. You prayed. You questioned. You waited. At times, you leaned your forehead against the door in exhaustion. But what you did not see was that on the other side, hinges were being adjusted. Locks were being removed. The timing mechanism was being set into place. I do not open doors randomly. I open them precisely. When the appointed moment arrives, there will be clarity. What once felt confusing will suddenly make sense. You will see how the delays aligned you. You will see how the refining strengthened you. You will see how the redirections protected you. All the pieces that once seemed scattered will form a picture. Imagine standing before a vast curtain that has been closed for years. You have wondered what lies behind it. You have imagined both disappointment and wonder. And then, at the right time, the curtain begins to rise. Not abruptly, not chaotically, but steadily. As it lifts, light pours in. You see that what was hidden was not emptiness. It was preparation. You are at that rising moment. The opportunity coming toward you will not require desperate striving. It will not demand that you abandon who you are. It will meet the person you have become. That is why the waiting was necessary. You needed to grow into the version of yourself who could carry this blessing with wisdom. When the door opens, step forward with courage, not fear. Do not shrink back because of old insecurities. Do not question whether you deserve it. I have prepared you. I have shaped you. I have walked with you through every shadow to bring you here. You may still feel a mixture of excitement and caution. That is natural. After a long season of delay, hope can feel fragile. But this moment is not fragile. It is established. There will be confirmation. There will be peace that surpasses logic. There will be a quiet assurance inside you that says, "This is it." Do not rush ahead of me even when the door opens. Walk with me through it. Let me guide your first steps into this new space. Remain humble. Remain grateful. Remain anchored in the truth that brought you here. And when you look back at the hallway you walked through, you will not resent it. You will understand it. You will see how every closed door, every pause, every tear was leading you to this threshold. The door is not opening because you forced it. It is opening because the time has come. Lift your head, my beloved. Take a steady breath. The waiting has not been in vain. The alignment is complete. The moment is near. Step forward when I say, now. And you will find that what lies beyond the door is greater than what you imagined during the wait. My beloved child, we have walked through this journey together, from the cry of "I can't wait anymore" to the quiet strength that now steadies your heart. You began weary, unsure, afraid that time had forgotten you. You questioned the silence. You wrestled with delay. You wondered if you had missed your moment. But look at you now. You are not the same soul who first whispered those desperate words. You have learned that waiting is not punishment, but preparation. You have discovered that silence does not mean absence. You have endured refining fire and found that it did not destroy you. It strengthened you. You resisted comparison. You guarded your alignment. You stood firm when discouragement tried to push you back. And now you understand something deeper. You were never forgotten. You were never behind. You were never outside my care. The door before you is opening not because you forced it, but because you trusted me long enough to reach the appointed time. The joy returning to you is not fragile. The strength within you is not temporary. It is tested and true. When you once said, "I can't wait anymore," it came from exhaustion. But now, you can say, "I waited, and it was worth it." Carry this truth with you into every new chapter. I am faithful in delay, faithful in silence, faithful in fulfillment. When future seasons test you again, remember this one. Remember how I held you. Remember how I shaped you. Remember how I brought you through. You are not walking forward alone. I go before you. I stand beside you. I remain within you. The story continues, but the fear that once haunted you no longer has authority. And now, my beloved, as this message settles into your heart, I call you into something greater than yourself. If these words have been oil to your lamp, then let others receive that same light. When you give through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link waiting in the description and in the QR code before you, you are sowing into souls I long to reach. As I have declared, the generous soul shall be made rich, and I speak that living promise over you now. When you act, you are saying, Father, use my seed to multiply hope. Do not hesitate in this holy moment. Let your giving be like rain on thirsty ground, like fire that keeps this altar burning. As you release your offering, I release blessing over your household, provision over your needs, and peace over your future. Step into this obedience with courage and joy. So now, and watch how I move. Receive my blessing, my beloved. May peace guard your mind. May courage fill your spirit. May joy rise in your mornings and rest in your nights. May every promise I have spoken over you unfold in its appointed time. I am with you. I am for you. I am faithful. Amen.